Hi everyone, I'd like to talk to you about our reserves today. We started in 2009 with making our first reserves out of Lemberger and Cabernet Franc. In 2011 my brother and I decided to try out a Pinot Noir reserve for the first time as well. The focus for all three of those wines is to make very ageable, very complex and very bold wines. They always spend a minimum of 1 year in barrel, can go up to a year and a half, but depending on the wine, I'll take it out earlier or later. The first wine that we are going to be trying today is our 2011 Cabernet Franc Reserve. It's the third time that we've made this wine, but how we started this was that we actually took part of our vineyard and decided to change the growing style of it to increase the quality of the grapes a little bit more. So what we did was actually change it to a corn-on system that's used in the older European vineyards, and it's designed to increase the quality and the fruit and the spiciness of the variety without losing any of the vigor. And when we first harvested this in 2009, what we found is that it makes our Cabernet Franc much more complex. There's a lot more red berries. The spicy, the pepperiness stays as well. And that seems to pair perfectly with the barrels that we chose, which are French, Italian, and American. Okay, I'll be trying this wine. You can see it has a very nice dark color, and on its nose it's got quite a nice cassis and cherry note. You get a little bit of that vanilla from the barrel, especially from the American barrel. While on the taste, you can really get the smokiness and complex flavors of the Italian and the French barrel, while you get that structure and pepperiness from the Cabernet Franc there. This being a younger wine means that the structure right now is still very big and very bold, but over the next 5 years this should round out very nicely and will allow this wine to pair perfectly with anything like short ribs or New Rirsling. So the second wine that I'm going to talk about is our flagship wine. It's called Lemberger, and it's an old variety from Eastern Europe. It's grown traditionally in Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, and the reason why it's called Lemberger is that the original place that it's from was a mountain called Lemberg. And once my family moved here about 15 years ago, that's when we planted about 2 rows of it. And then my brother and I decided, once we opened up the winery, to make it into our flagship red wine. This variety is perfectly suited to Ontario because it comes from Eastern Europe, and that's a very continental climate just as we have here. So we have very hot summers and we have very cool winters, and a very early frost in the fall. This variety ripens a little bit earlier than Cabernet Franc does, ensuring that I can get full fruit development every single year. And it actually has about the same cold resistance as Riesling does, so it makes it through the winter every single year. The wines themselves that you can make from Lemberger are very different. It's a very flexible grape. You can make a white out of it, for example. You could make a rosé out of it. You could make a light red wine, or, as we do, a very heavy red wine. And now we're going to taste the Lemberger. You can see that this one has very nice deep color as well, and usually when you have a Lemberger, it makes a very spicy, very fruity wine. What we did in making it our heaviest varietal is actually barrel age it as well, and it's the only variety that I have that I put into 100% American oak. I find Lemberger ripening here to its full potential is the only variety that we have on site that can actually handle the aggressiveness of the American oak and will actually pair perfectly well with it. So on the nose, you can usually get quite a lot of pepperiness, a lot of cherry, and you get that vanilla and the smokiness from the American oak as well. And on the taste, the Lemberger is again very fruit forward. It has a lot of spices in it. It will go from white pepper in the start of its life cycle to getting a bit more black pepper the older it gets, while that strong tannin that's in there from the American oak will actually mellow out quite a lot more, and will in that sense allow this wine to age quite a lot longer than our other reserves will. But the food pairing that I find fits this wine perfectly is something that's traditional in Germany, from our region in southern Germany, and it's a special type of noodle that's called a Spätzle, and that works perfectly well with braised venison. Lemberger, because of its spiciness, because of its richness, will really mellow out the braised venison, and then the Spätzle will add that final touch to the wine. Cheers!